Welcome to the Inspiring You Show. If we haven't met, I'm Henry. Friends, we are going to be finishing up the March energy forecast in regard to breaking them down in shorter components to talk a little bit more about it because the one we're talking about today is still relevant going into April. But before we do that, though, let's just take a moment to arrive fully in the space, body, mind, spirit. So find a comfortable, supportive position. And then gently close your eyes, lower your gaze, and take a nice deep breath. Take another slow, deep, nourishing breath in. And then exhale, letting any tension melt away. Take another inhale, breathing in openness, possibility, clarity. Breathing out, exhaling, and releasing any lingering distractions or tension. Once again, breathing in deeply, inviting in clarity, courage, and awareness. Breathing out, letting go of resistance, fear, or limitation. Breathing in life force energy. Breathing out what no longer supports you. Now let's invite Reiki energy healing in. If you wish to receive Reiki, you can say, yes, I'd like to see Reiki for my highest good. If you don't, that's okay. Reiki always respects free will. Taking another deep breath. You're exactly where you need to be. Allow yourself to be fully present for this exploration. So, today we're going to be exploring theme 8 of the March 2025 energy forecast. And whenever you are listening to this, it is still evergreen and it will still apply. But this is one of the 9 transformative themes designed to support your journey. And so, for March or whenever you're listening to it, I just did the astrology insight for April 2025, and my maternal grandmother came in, and she was coming in connection to on for April 16th. And during the astrology insight on April 16th, it talked about in terms of creative projects and things like that. And my grandmother was coming in because earlier this month, when this energy theme came in, I was thinking about something that my grandmother used to do when she was alive and she was able to. So, theme number 8. This is theme number 8. This is all about breaking free, reclaiming power, the awakening of forgotten talents and innate abilities. So, it's breaking free, reclaiming power, the awakening of forgotten talents and innate abilities. And so, sorry, I was just petting my dog. um, so my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, was this incredible seamstress, and she was just this designer, and she just had these amazing creative abilities. And so this energy forecast theme is really all about awakening forgotten talents, innate abilities, not just from your present life, past lives, but also your ancestors. And so earlier this month in one of the meditations, I was like, we called our grandparents Meme and Pepe. I was like, Meme LaRose, I'd really like to download that ability that you had as a designer and a seamstress. So if I could just wake up being able to do that. And so all throughout this month, I've been getting these urges to take out my sewing machine, but I haven't done it. And just yesterday, I was looking at some clothing and I was like, wow, I could redesign that. I should get my sewing machine out. I didn't do it. And then during the astrology insight for April 2025, for the April 16th date, she came in and she was so strong, her presence. It smelled like a perfume. And I was like, oh, who is it? And I was like, oh, it's my maternal grandmother. And that day specifically is talking about creative projects. And she was coming in to remind me to start moving forward and inspired action on that. And so it really, though, the seeds have been planted, though, from March. And that's why one month to the other really connect each other. And so And so this really is as we move through March and then even now into April, the energy surrounding us is both intense and illuminating, especially for March. It is a powerful time for uncovering, reclaiming, and embodying the skills, gifts, and intuitive talents that have been hidden or dormant within. And it might mean that you've been getting intuitive or creative pulses on things, like I just mentioned about me. So, this theme, though, is about far more than simply discovering or rediscovering talents. It's a profound invitation to step into greater alignment with your true self, breaking free from old conditioning, releasing limiting beliefs, and stepping fully into the highest potential. So as we journey through 2025, March 2025 into April, the collective energy is a blend, has been a blend of intensity and clarity. So March has been an intensity and clarity month. It is not merely a time for reflection, but also we're moving more into inspired action, especially for moving into April, mid April, and later. This theme invites you to embrace the full scope of who you are, not only as the gifts you've consciously cultivated, but also the talents that have been waiting quietly in the wings. And so the energy of this month is really transformative, urging you to step into alignment with your authentic self. This awakening is not only unearthing abilities but about releasing layers of fear, doubt, and societal conditioning that may have kept them hidden. So it's an opportunity to remember your truest light essence and embody your highest potential. So what we're going to be talking about and learning in this theme is how forgotten or dormant talents are awakening within you. These abilities are often tied to aspects of yourself that were pushed aside due to life circumstances, cultural expectations, or even unresolved past life energies, if that resonates with your worldview. So, as the energy intensifies this month, you may feel subtle or not so subtle shifts, sudden sparks of inspiration, memories of past passions, or a yearning to explore something completely new. And so, this reawakening is deeply personal, calling you then to really then pay close attention to intuitive nudges and inner whispers. And so the gifts emerging may come into beautiful surprises. So perhaps you're drawn back to a passion you once cherished, like writing, painting, music, could be sewing, intuitive healing, or energy work. This is the awakening of forgotten talents. Or perhaps these talents feel completely new, yet strangely familiar, as if they've been lying quietly within you, waiting for the right energetic moment to reappear. So many of these abilities were not necessarily lost, rather, they were covered by conditioning, limiting beliefs, or fears of rejection, ridicule, or misunderstanding. So let's just talk about why gifts get suppressed. Conditioning from childhood, societal expectations, or even trauma can create powerful subconscious beliefs such as it's not safe to be fully myself. My true gifts won't be accepted. I'm not good enough to use my abilities. Or things could have been also in terms of past lives. You could have had past lives where you were using these gifts and maybe some sort of trauma happened where at that time it wasn't acceptable to do X, Y, and Z. And so maybe something unfortunate happened in that experience as you were using these gifts. And so then in this lifetime, there could have been something suppressed because that trauma hasn't been processed from a past life. And now it's being called to process. So now, with March's energetic openings, these limiting beliefs are surfacing not to hold you back, but to finally witness, clear, heal. And so then just understand that sometimes with abilities, they may have been hidden or suppressed, and our gifts can often then go dormant when conditioning takes hold. Childhood experiences may have taught you to prioritize practicality over passion or to downplay parts of yourself that didn't fit societal norms. Self doubt or fear of failure, judgment, rejection can lead you to bury your talents to avoid vulnerability. Survival mode. During times of stress, your energy is directed towards basic needs, sidelining creative or intuitive pursuits. So that's why compassion and mindfulness is key here. Rather than judging yourself for losing touch with these abilities, Acknowledge the survival mechanisms or belief systems that once supported you no longer align with your growth. So releasing these blocks begin with self-acceptance. So really using those mindfulness tools. And then recognizing the signs of emerging talents. Pay close attention to synchronicity, dreams, intuitive nudges, sudden interest, like I mentioned about being in a live stream talking about the astrology for April, and my maternal grandmother comes in during when I'm talking about one day about creative projects because she's reminding me of my interest in sewing and to she's nudging me. That's an intuitive nudge. And so notice if any kind of certain activities suddenly feel effortless or deeply fulfilling, or you're curious, you're excited to try something. Because sometimes, too, with creativity, doesn't mean that you have all the answers and it's going to be like, wow, that was so seamless, which if it's great, amazing. Yet sometimes with creativity, there can just be a messy middle where you're like, I'm not really sure how to do this, or what am I doing? Because you're learning. You're here to learn, grow, and evolve. And so sometimes in the process of learning, there's a little unsettling aspects where you're not quite sure how to do it. And then all of a sudden you're learning and you're like, oh my God, wait, I have confidence. Currently, I will say something that emerged for me in March, which I am quite surprised about, is my interest in the digital keyboard. I've really never I think when I was a child, there was a which again goes back to my maternal grandparents, they had a piano in the garage that sometimes I used to play, not really play. I would just kind of pluck the keys, if you will. And so this month I started playing the digital keyboard on Duolingo. I've been doing Duolingo for like years in terms of learning French, and I do Italian a little bit, but I just noticed that they had music and just what's this about? And so I started playing the digital piano on Duolingo, and I'm really liking learning it. So I don't know, maybe that's like a recognizing a sign of emerging talents from that were like hidden, because I will say also in my maternal lineage, my mother's sister who just passed, it was like a couple months ago. Um, she actually in her younger days, from what I understand, was really amazing at the piano. So who knows? I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna continue learning it, but I just think it's interesting how there's 2 aspects from ancestry that has kinda resurfaced or surfaced in March for me. So for you, check it out. Recognize then the emergence of any kind of gifts, like, what are kind of pulling at you in terms of signs. So pay close attention to synchronicity, dreams, intuitive nudges, sudden interest. Notice if any kind of certain activities suddenly feel effortless or deeply fulfilling. These are clear indicators that you're reconnecting to a dormant skill or gifts. Also, somatic signals can also guide you. Feelings of warmth, excitement, curiosity, and intuitive pull. They're often signs that you're tapping into forgotten parts of yourself. So that's how you start to recognize the emergence of gifts. So when innate talents resurface, they may not announce themselves boldly at first. They're not going to be like, hey, I'm here. It'd be great if they did, right? So look for signs, dreams or visions, unfamiliar yet vivid ideas or images appear in your dreams, hinting at like untapped potential, reoccurring themes. You may feel drawn repeatedly to certain activities, topics, or environments, seemingly without explanation. Heightened intuition, your inner knowing becomes sharper, offering subtle insights or urges, emotional response, a surge of excitement, joy, or even nostalgia when you engage with something aligned with hidden talent. So be curious and observant. These signals often point to areas of exploration that hold great potential. Okay, practical ways to overcome fears or limiting beliefs. Reclaiming your gifts requires courage and trust. I'm going to say that again and louder. Reclaiming your gifts requires courage and trust. I know we all want it to be like, wow, this was just so easy. I just shifted into it and bam. which be great. If it does, amazing. But sometimes it just requires courage for us to really lean into it and then trust as we're learning and growing and evolving with something. So here are some strategies to navigate doubts. Shift perspective. Recognize that expressing your talents is not about perfection or external validation, but embodying your light truth. You're here to learn, grow, and evolve. Start small. Take incremental steps toward using your abilities, allowing confidence to build naturally. I will say when I first started the Duolingo, the music part, the digital piano, I noticed my brain, I was like, "Oh my god, this feels so hard." Like, "Oh my god." And I definitely had a few moments where I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do this." And then I was like, "Okay, girl. Okay, girl. Take a couple deep breaths, turn on Reiki, breathe, clear the blocks, ask for the brain to be reconfigured. Okay, you can do this. Go back in. And I did. And and it definitely was like it was a little challenging the first couple days, but now like I really am enjoying it as I'm learning, but it was a little rusty when I first got into it. I was a little bit like, what am I doing? Um and so really shifting that perspective is so important. You're here to learn, grow, and evolve. And so if you feel tension about learning or nervous, like, can I do this? Just recognize that expressing your talents is not about perfection or like, oh my God, I know all of it right away. Even if you did know it from a past life or from your ancestry, in this life, in your experience, it may be in your human experience, you're relearning components of it. So it's okay. It is not about perfection or external validation, but about embodying light truth. So be in patience with it. Start small, take incremental steps toward using your abilities, allowing confidence to build naturally. And which I kind of feel like if you do Duolingo, like I do Duolingo every day or I almost every day. Um, and so if you do, it's kind of like it's like one short little lesson. And so it's a nice way to start small and build toward incremental steps using your abilities, allowing confidence to build naturally. We'll see where I take it. I wonder one day if I'm going to actually get a real digital piano. I mean, stay tuned, right? All right. So then in terms of reclaiming your gifts, here are some more strategies. One, you want to shift that perspective, start small, reframe fear. Reframe fear. View fear as an indicator of growth. It means you're stepping beyond your comfort zone. The next one is surround yourself with support. Seek out individuals or communities who uplift and encourage your journey. I'm sharing with all of you. I share it with also some of my friends too. One of my friends, Valerie, we talk about, I talked to her about Duolingo. Also, her sister Megan, my friend Carrie. We're all in Duolingo and we're friends. You can friend each other. So got a little Duolingo support system. Sometimes I text them about it in terms of a text chain. Anyway, surround yourself with support. Affirm your value. Repeat affirmations too, as like, my gifts are valuable and worth sharing to challenge negative beliefs. So, my gifts are valuable and worth sharing to challenge negative beliefs. So using tools to support yourself. Also, releasing any other fear and conditioning with mindfulness and energy work. And with fear, you're really releasing the non-beneficial aspect of fear or any kind of non-beneficial aspect of fear that's keeping you stuck or frozen. And because sometimes there's a beneficial aspect where fear is actually igniting you, where you're like, oh wait, I'm like, I feel a little scared to do this. And then you're like, okay, but I can do it. Fear is bringing you into presence. So that way you can, take a leap. So there's beneficial aspects of fear, but you want to clear any non-beneficial. So use mindfulness to compassionately explore resistance or fears around stepping fully into your talents. And remember, into your talents, it doesn't mean that you have to use these talents to get paid either. That, oh my God, you're going to be a concert pianist or a musician. You can just do it to cultivate hobbies and just to cultivate your talents for fun and enjoyment, to enjoy life and another component of life. I don't know. For me, it's kinda nice that I can, I think I played the digital piano the other day for, like, 45 minutes on Duolingo. It's just kinda nice. I'm learning new notes, and then I'm practicing songs. So let yourself use tools to support yourself, clearing any kind of resistance or fears around stepping fully into your talents. Also practice like grounding exercises, meditation, Reiki, or breath work to clear energetic blockages and resistance. Also, trauma informed awareness reminds us also to move gently, ensuring the nervous system is supported as these abilities emerge rather than overwhelmed. Okay, how to integrate this theme. Obviously, part of the integrating is literally letting yourself, oh, wait, I'm getting an urge to try something, letting yourself try that. But also, what can help is to do uh, energy healing meditations, Reiki dowsing, to do journaling. And here are some questions for journaling. What abilities or interests are emerging now, perhaps unexpectedly? So, what abilities or interests are emerging now, perhaps unexpectedly? What beliefs about myself or my gifts might be holding me back? What beliefs about myself or my gifts might be holding me back? How can I compassionately support myself in reclaiming these parts of my being? How can I compassionately support myself in reclaiming these parts of my being? So take some time to journal. I'll put the journal questions in the show notes at some point to support you. And just remember, this isn't just about March. This is just about whenever you listen to this. It is evergreen because it's not like just in March you're gonna have your awakened forgotten talents that come on. I mean, it could be where the seeds were planted this month, and maybe in 2 months from now, you're like, "Oh wait, I feel ready to do it." Sometimes that happens. Also, to integrate somatic practices and body awareness can help. Noticing any kind of bodily sensations that arise when exploring these gifts, like if anxiety or fear surfaces, use gentle somatic practices like slow breathing, use energy work, do grounding, yoga to stretch to release stored tension and create safety in expressing your gifts because there might be some anxiety and fear. It can be from past lives or from ancestry, or maybe in your past present life where you were trying to do something and something happened that you weren't safe. And so then there could have been a protective measure of fear that has been blocking you from really trying it again. But now that you're ready, there could be a non-beneficial protection system that needs to be cleared, and you have to release stored energy and tension to create safety in being able to express your gifts because we're in a new moment of time. So let yourself do the energy work in regard to your emotions and processing and seeing what's coming up so that way you can shift and explore and express your gifts. As I mentioned, energy work practices, Reiki, dowsing, energy clearings can support you clearing any blocks to your authentic talents and abilities underneath. And then also, you can strengthen to your higher self soul to reveal your authentic talents and abilities, also. And you can also work to dissolve any kind of layers of conditioning as well that's blocking you from being able to shift. Trauma informed integration, as I mentioned too, literally letting yourself also reclaim these gifts, taking small, manageable steps. Your nervous system may need time and reassurance and stability. So go at a place that feels safe and sustainable for you. And then here are some intentions for this theme: releasing suppression. I compassionately release. You can say these with me if they resonate with you, either out loud or quietly to yourself. As I'm saying this, I'm thinking about my neighbor who she shares with me that she often listens to these when she is driving. So I just want to say a shout out. Hello, my friend. I'm here with you. She always messages me saying saying things like that. All right, let's do some intention work. You can repeat after me if these resonate with you, either out loud or quietly to yourself. I compassionately release any beliefs that have kept me from fully embracing my true gifts. I compassionately release any beliefs that have kept me from fully embracing my true gifts. I compassionately release any beliefs that have kept me from fully embracing my true gifts. Take a nice deep breath on that. The next one is I choose to show up fully, authentically, and unapologetically, embracing my innate talents. I choose to show up fully, authentically, and unapologetically, embracing my innate talents. Here's another one. I lovingly release all conditioning, trauma, and fear that block my gifts from fully expressing. I lovingly release all conditioning, trauma, and fear that block my gifts from fully expressing. I fully trust in my intuitive wisdom and abilities awakening within me. I fully trust in the intuitive wisdom and abilities awakening within me. Here's the last one. I welcome new insights, creativity, intuitive gifts, trusting my ability to integrate them. I welcome new insights, creativity, and intuitive gifts, trusting my ability to integrate them. I welcome new insights, creativity, intuitive gifts, trusting my ability to integrate them. Take a nice deep breath. All right, my friends. So let's just connect the astrology to this energy theme forecast. So the astrology on this was the blood moon eclipse in Virgo, March 14th, supports deep karmic clearing and unlocking our dormant talents. Venus star point in Aries, March 22nd, amplifies courageous self-expression and empowerment. Mercury Kazemi in Aries, March 24th, brings sudden insights, awakening forgotten wisdom and clarity. All right, let's do the closing meditation now, my friends. So, once again, I invite you to find a comfortable position. I invite you to close your eyes, lower your gaze, take a nice deep breath. All right. Take a moment to envision your highest self, illuminated, empowered by unique gifts and talents. So, take a moment to envision your highest self, illuminated, empowered by your unique gifts and talents. And then breathe deeply, feeling your entire being filled with clarity, confidence, and courage to embody these gifts fully. So breathe deeply, feeling your entire being filled with clarity, confidence, and courage to embody these gifts fully. And then silently affirm or out loud if this resonates. I embrace my talents. I reclaim my voice, my power, and my light truth. I'm ready to embody my highest potential. I embrace my talents. I reclaim my voice, my power, and my light truth. I'm ready to embrace and embody my highest potential. I embrace my talents. I reclaim my voice, my power, my light truth. I am ready to embody my highest potential. And so it is. And so it is, my friends. And I ask this healing to be sealed with love and light, this healing to be sealed with love and light. And so it is. And before we go, let's just take a moment to de-link so you can say this after me if it resonates with you. I asked to break the links with this mindfulness chat. I asked to break the links with this Reiki session, leaving only harmony and balance at either ends. I asked to clear any residual energies being held in my body as a result of these links. I ask the light to fill the void, cells, rejuvenates, refreshes, revitalizes for my hands, go with ease and grace in gratitude. In gratitude. Take another deep breath, my friends. Bring awareness behind your eyes, open your eyes, and welcome back. All right, let's do the Reiki blessing. So, as we close, I offer you this Reiki blessing. May your innate gifts shine brightly, illuminating your path and the paths of those around you. May you release fear and embrace your authentic expression with courage, joy, and ease. May the wisdom of your soul guide you clearly and compassionately forward. May your journey be supported by grace, and may each step toward authenticity. I'm going to say that again. May your journey be supported by grace, and may each step toward authenticity bring you closer to your highest good and living the embodiment of your highest potential as soon as possible for your highest good and gratitude. Take another deep breath And bring awareness behind your eyes. Open your eyes if they were closed. My friends, thank you for sharing this mindful exploration with me of your innate gifts. May you move forward empowered, clear, and deeply aligned. Much, much love. Until soon, and stay inspired, my friends.